Onward to glory!
Do you wish there was a Master of Orion 2, but for Warhammer 40K? Well, I have good news because it's out there. Sort of. Once Upon a Time was a fan-made game, which then became a mod, and now it's been dead for many years. The idea started as one of those fake internet game ideas that gets around like Pressure or King of the Hill Online, but this one is real like Space Station 13 or Ed, Edd n Eddy Online. So it began as a standalone game. That ended when Games Workshop caught wind of it and C&D'd the project. They're very aggressive when it comes to defending their IP. They don't want to be caught sleeping again. So Chapter Master died, and then there was non-infringing Interstellar Army Simulator. That one happened to get a Chapter Master mod a little bit later. So really, this is a mod review. Sure, some websites might call it a game, but no, this is a mod. This is a mod, everybody. So in it, you rule over a Space Marine chapter. Space Marines are the superhuman Hulk Hogans with 40 trucks worth of steel. And you're in charge. You have a lot of playable options. You can choose a group from the lore, including some obscure ones, or pick a fan-made one. Of course, you can also make a custom chapter, and this gets extensive. You can spend points to make your chapter bigger or less likely to mutate, but there are also advantages and disadvantages to balance out. This is only the beginning. What's your battle barge called? What kind of world do you recruit from? How do you train the recruits? What kind of magic are you into? Does your chapter have mutations? Are they allergic to shellfish? There is a staggering level of detail down to making your own custom units. Never has it been easier to make the chapter of your dreams or the Eldar's nightmares. It's not necessary to go through every little detail, but you can if you want. When your paperwork is finally done, you can start the game. So let's talk about the presentation. It's definitely a fan game. Artwork is taken from manuals, games, websites, and God knows where. So the actual quality and resolution can definitely jump all over the place, but it's still Warhammer. It is cool that you can see all the individual equipment your Marines have. Supposedly there are mods out there to make these even higher resolution, but I haven't used any. In contrast to that, the ground battles are very abstract. The lines just represent the formations of both armies. So your imagination will have to be the graphics engine here. On the other side, the fleet battles show a lot more. You see missiles fire off, fighters dogfight, it's a lot more visually satisfying. Both kinds of battles play themselves out, so all you need to do is watch it. Now how about the sound? Well, there's only one sound effect in the game, and that's for a menu. The rest of the sound is just a few music tracks from other games, so not much here. It is fitting music, but it's going to be a quiet game. Yeah, that's all there is to say, so here's how it's played. As Chapter Master, you have hundreds, possibly thousands of Marines to command. A lot can be sorted out just fine, but if you want, you can manage the Marines down to their individual weapons and equipment. Most of your Marines will be in your fleet, and you can unload them on planets to do activities. This could be for exploring, recovering artifacts, completing a mission, or just fortifying a planet in case bad men show up. It's a turn-based game, so you'll have a lot of time to think it all through. Besides just managing your angry refrigerators, you also need to balance diplomacy. For example, you can recruit new Marines, but you need permission, because all of these planets belong to the Imperium of Man. And if they're unhappy, you won't get more recruiting worlds, but there's more. To transform recruits into Space Marines, you need Gene Seed. Creating new ones not from dead Marines takes a long time. But you still need to pay some to the Adeptus Mechanicus. Without their support, you can't get Land Raiders, Tech Priests, and everything else that makes your armored division so strong. So it's usually nice for you to keep all these factions happy, but it's hard to pull off. They might want you to complete missions that are far away from each other. This might be hard to do in time as one Doom fleet, but splitting them up means there's a risk of them dying. And this assumes that everyone is happy and we're all on the same page here. That doesn't happen as often as you hope. Like when the Inquisition tells you to purge a planet they don't like. Planetary governors usually have a lot going on. You roll up on a city and nuke a few million or billion people to make Tyranids go away, and the Imperium understands that. It's like changing your oil, you just gotta do it. But when you keep assassinating governors and then your chapter starts something called Crystal Knock Thursdays, well, they get pissed off. So you can't be evil all the time until your favorite politician says it's okay. If you don't have tact, you might be labeled as a renegade. Then you have to talk to the kids who smoke during geography class. Heresy? I don't think so. You can give greater humanity the finger and try to build everything on your own, but it makes things harder. This game is all about making the best possible decision in horrible scenarios. Heretic issues? You could bomb them from orbit, or you could be more subtle. Why bomb a planet over a governor when you can replace one with a puppet that'll serve you? Then it turns out what you thought was some people setting animals on fire was an entire Chaos Space Marine Legion incursion. They wiped out the Purge team and launched their fleet. We should have bombed them when we had the chance. You have to make it all happen, and no matter what, a lot of good people are gonna die. You can try and get around this by being more unconventional. We can negotiate with the enemy, maybe give them a chaos. Oh shit. I swear I didn't touch it. I just looked at it. Oh God, please.
No, Daddy, no!
Oh, the fucking Inquisition. Ugh. Okay, so the Inquisition doesn't trust you and they want your artifacts real bad. Artifacts are powerful items and everyone wants them. Many are powerful war gear pieces and can make your superhumans even more superhuman. Some are clearly tainted by the evil of chaos or at least possessed by some kind of demon. So you might go, I should break that, and then oops, you've summoned a greater demon aboard your strike cruiser. It commemorates the occasion by vomiting acid on all your crew members. So these things are dangerous but powerful and valuable. So you're supposed to give them to the Inquisition to do whatever they want to do with them, but since they're apparently hoarding Tyranids away, I don't want them to have anything. They might not like you for your psychers accidentally summoning demons or exploding into demons, so you have to think around that. So how do I not give it to the Inquisition but also not get caught with them, because there could be interesting things here. You can't build an Imperial Worlds immediately, but you can build black sites on dead asteroids. I just need to make sure no prying eyes come. So now any borderline heretical thing I find or build can now be stuffed away. And this is all just dealing with your allies, not counting all the enemies you're actually supposed to be fighting. Even though combat does play itself out, you still have a lot of influence over it. There are countless different ways to put your troops in formation, and you can make different strategies depending on what you have and who you're fighting. Not to mention all the auxiliary troops you can throw in there. Why use medicine when you can stuff someone into a dreadnought? It's just such a rich game with so many different things that can happen. Weather report, the material plane is breaking down. Well, there can't be worse news than that today. What, they found my stash? How did you find my stash? Oh, god damn it. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot wrong with this game. Calling the interface clunky would be generous. A lot is based in RNG. You can accidentally win the game early on and not know it. Chapter Master is prone to crashing, and it could just generally be buggy. The most famous of these bugs is the Guardsman planet. Not only could the Guardsmen cover the planet, but there were more Guardsmen than there are atoms in the universe. And there were still orcs. But this will be a shorter video because it doesn't feel fair to go into detail on all those issues, because why it's like this is obvious. It's not done. It will likely never be done. It's not hard to find placeholders or missing tooltips or missing images. It's an incredible passion project and it's understandable why it couldn't be finished. But even in this primitive, buggy, unfinished state, it's still a ton of fun. I've had more fun playing this than some 4X games I've paid for. The formula of being space police having to balance between factions and not really paint the map with an empire is just so interesting to play. You have so much to manage and do that something is always coming up and you get that just one more turn feeling playing it. And players know it's a winning formula too because the legend of Chapter Master lives on. Like our technology in 40K, it's scattered. There's the latest standalone version, the latest mod version, unofficial patched versions, and yeah, the messed up chaos versions that barely work at all. Then there's all the remake attempts, and don't get me started on those. I followed this game since the day it came out. I still can't tell you what the definitive version is because there isn't one. Technically it's .6555, but what good is that number when people have made so many overwrites to it? All I know is that it's clear people love this game and are clamoring for more. There's so much out there already. You can still find elaborate design documents from people who said, we'll pick up Chapter Master, let's see what we can do. These didn't come to pass, but the work is still out there. Maybe one day this formula will be cloned with an original IP. An official 40K game like this would be great, but who knows if that'll happen. What else can I say? Sure, I wish things had been different, but what's still here is fantastic. Warhammer winter has begun. The next Warhammer game will be a lot more straightforward than this one, but I'll have more to talk about. The Lamenter game. Oh, just kidding, it's Ultramarines again. That one was definitely a long time coming. I'll talk about the real 40K 4X game eventually, but for now, questions. Will you review Two Worlds 2? I was shocked that it got a new expansion recently, so probably. That alone makes it pretty interesting. What games do you think cross over well into other media? The first thing I think of is Halo, even though I know that did have some pretty stinky books in it. Dead Space had some good stuff, and I think that's all I'm familiar with. Favorite 40K game? Probably Dawn of War Dark Crusade, but there's still a bunch I haven't played, so we'll see. What are your favorite and least favorite Space Marine chapters? Fists are number 1, number 2 might be between Dark Angels and Iron Hands. Bottom has to be Ultramarines just for meta reasons, but lore, probably Space Wolves. What Chaos God most appeals to you? I like Tzeentch, but if it was all real and I had to pledge to one, it would most likely be Nurgle. You're really dirty, but it doesn't really harm you. Alright then, I'll see you next time.